You remember the moment you noticed it. The room was full. Plates clinked, grandchildren laughed, conversations crossed over each other, and your parents sat there growing quieter by the minute. You felt it before you understood it. Maybe you thought they were bored, maybe irritated, maybe slipping away from everyone around them. But you were reading a signal, not the truth. What looks like withdrawal is often protection. It is not something you did. When an elderly parent goes quiet in a room full of people, the silence is rarely empty. It is usually carrying more than words ever could. You are seeing the behavior first, the shorter answers, the smile that fades quickly, the nod instead of the story they used to tell, the way they let others speak over them and do not fight for space. To younger eyes, it can look like they have lost interest in family life. It can look like they do not care to join in. But many older parents are not stepping away from the family. They are stepping away from the strain of keeping up with the pace of the room. Fast conversation requires quick hearing, quick memory, quick timing, and quick reactions. That room may feel easy to you. To them, it can feel like trying to catch water with bare hands. So they choose the safer option. Silence. Think about that for a second. You may have seen absence where there was effort. The emotional reason goes deeper. Many parents from their generation were raised to believe composure matters more than confession. They learned to keep discomfort private. They learned not to interrupt. They learned not to make themselves the center of attention. If they cannot hear every word, if they lose track of names, if the topic changes too fast, they often will not say, "Slow down, I'm lost." They will protect their dignity instead. They would rather be quiet than reveal struggle. We often assume people speak less because they have less inside them. Sometimes they speak less because they are guarding what remains. Be honest. How many times has your parent said they are fine when they clearly were carrying something heavier than fine? This is the same language, just spoken without words. There is also grief inside that silence. Not only grief for people who are gone, though that may be there too. Grief for a version of family life that no longer exists. There was a time when they knew every name in the room, every schedule, every preference, every problem. There was a time when family gatherings happened around their labor. They cooked the meal, drove the car, paid the bill, settled disputes, introduced traditions, and held the center. Now the room can run perfectly well without needing anything from them. That is a hard transition that few people talk about. Imagine standing in the same family you built and realizing the machinery now moves without your hands on it. Even loving change can sting when it reminds you that your old role has passed. So sometimes the quiet is grief with good manners. It sits there smiling. There is another kind of grief hidden there too. They may be grieving the version of themselves they remember clearly. The quicker walker, the sharper storyteller, the person who could hold 5 tasks in mind and still notice who forgot their coat. Inside, many older parents lives a vivid memory of who they were at full strength. Then they enter a room where their body or mind does not move the same way. That contrast can be painful. It is difficult to compete with your own memory. So they withdraw a little, not from you, but from the gap between then and now. There is a body and brain reason too, and it matters. Research on aging consistently shows that many older adults process speech differently in noisy environments. Even with decent hearing, background sound makes separating one voice from another much harder. The brain has to work longer to decode words, track speakers, and remember what was just said. Add fatigue, medications, stress, or mild hearing loss, and a busy dinner table can become exhausting in minutes. This is why your parent may seem lively one-on-one and silent in a crowd. It is not a contradiction, it is context. The same person who tells rich stories over tea may go nearly mute at a birthday party because one setting supports them and the other drains them. If you only judge them by the crowded room, you miss who they still are in the quiet room. There is also the speed of modern family life. Conversations today often jump in fragments. A joke from the internet, a half-told story, 3 people speaking at once, someone checking a phone while answering another person. Younger generations adapt to this rhythm without noticing. Many older parents did not grow up in that pace. They grew up in longer conversations, clearer turns, fewer distractions, and more eye contact. So the room can feel less like a connection and more like noise wrapped in affection. Then we reach the deepest layer, identity. For many older parents, worth was never taught as something you simply have. It was taught as something you provide. You earn your place by being useful, by fixing, by carrying, by sacrificing, by knowing what to do. When age changes strength, speed, memory, hearing, or authority, it does more than create inconvenience. It shakes identity at the root. If your parent no longer feels like the capable one, the needed one, the dependable one, they may not know where to stand in the room anymore. Silence can become a shelter from that confusion. If I do not know who I am here, I will become small and cause no trouble. That thought is rarely spoken aloud, but many families feel it without naming it. You may think your parent wants less connection. Often, they want a connection without the pain of feeling unnecessary. This is why forcing participation usually fails. Telling them, "Come on, say something," can feel like pressure, not welcome. Putting them on the spot can make the silence deeper. The better move is gentler and more specific. Give them a lane where they can still feel solid. Ask for memory, not performance. Ask for guidance, not speed. Ask for their hands, not just their presence. Let them teach a grandchild how to fold dough, polish shoes, mend a button, water a plant, season a pan, or greet a guest properly. Practical knowledge restores dignity faster than pity ever will. Tonight at dinner, sit beside them instead of across the room. Reduce the distance. Turn slightly toward them so your face is easy to read. Then ask one question tied to real experience. How did you make the festival meal when money was tight? Or what did Grandpa always say before leaving the house? Then wait. Do not rescue the silence too quickly. Let them search. Let the room slow down around them for once. You are giving more than a chance to speak. You are giving a place to stand. Try another small change within 24 hours. Call on a weekday morning when the house is quiet. No agenda, no rush. Ask one thing only they would know. Write down the answer. Read it back to them. People come alive when they can feel their knowledge landing somewhere. That is why small moments matter more than grand gestures. You do not need to organize a perfect family event to reach your parent. You need to create one space where what they know still has value. Ask how they stretched groceries when money was tight. Ask how they handled conflict without walking away. Ask which family recipe everyone keeps getting wrong. These questions do more than start a conversation. They remind your parent that their life built wisdom and that wisdom still has a place to go. If gatherings are loud, create a side conversation during them. Step onto the balcony, stand in the kitchen while dishes are being stacked. Walk to the gate together for 2 minutes. Offer to help them carry something to another room. Sit beside them while everyone else is distracted. Many parents who disappear in groups return in smaller spaces. The noise drops, their body relaxes, their thoughts have room to form. Sometimes the person you thought was gone was simply overwhelmed. You do not need to fix the whole family dynamic in one night. That pressure will only make you freeze. You need to build moments where their nervous system can exhale. One calm exchange can do more than 3 forced celebrations. One genuine minute can matter more than an entire noisy evening. We often think healing must be dramatic. In families, it is usually quiet and ordinary. Also, notice what you stop doing. Stop interpreting quiet as rejection. Stop assuming no words means no feelings. Stop measuring their engagement by volume. Stop deciding they are fine because they are polite. Stop rushing to fill every silence because silence makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes your parent is not asking for more noise. They are asking for enough safety to speak when ready. Stop speaking about them in front of them as if they are no longer fully there. Few things wound more deeply than being treated like furniture in your own family, even when memory has changed, even when hearing is harder, even when they need help. Respect must stay intact. Turn to them directly. Use their name. Let your eyes meet theirs before you continue the conversation. Dignity lives in these tiny behaviors. Include them in decisions, even small ones. Which dish should we make? What time should we leave? Which route is better? Where should the children sit? Should we carry an umbrella? These choices may look minor to you. They may feel major to someone who has slowly been removed from the role of decision maker. Being consulted can matter more than being entertained. It says, you still count here. It says your judgment still belongs in this house. Some of the deepest love in later life is expressed through showing up, sitting there, watching everyone eat, listening to voices they helped bring into the world. Your parent may leave a gathering saying little and still carry the whole evening home in their chest. They may replay the laughter. Notice who was kind. Remember who sat beside them. Treasure a small touch on the shoulder more than any long speech. There is one more truth many adult children learned later than they wanted to. Silence changes shape over time. The quiet parent at the table today may become the voice you wish you had asked more from tomorrow. A story not invited can disappear. Advice not requested can go with them. A memory no one asked for can fade untouched. The window is closing, not because disaster is guaranteed, but because time keeps moving, while families assume there will be another holiday, another Sunday, another easier moment. This will not wait forever. Love often believes there is more time than there is. You do not need a grand speech. You need a softer chair pulled beside them, one slower question, one hand resting near theirs without urgency, one pause, long enough for them to enter. If this helped you see your parent more clearly, subscribe and share it with someone who still mistakes silence for distance. The room is loud, and your parent is turning a teacup slowly in their hands while waiting for one face to look their way.